No
Do you
issue.
wish to have only 10 or 15 minutes, sir?
Or 10 minutes is enough.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So we'll remind you, sir, through chat box.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning to all the respected participants.
Good morning, sir.
So today we shall
Good
start.
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Okay, let us start today's session. So yesterday we were discussing. We completed the chi-square test on use Excel. So today, okay, so let me explain to you the other test that can be performed both on Excel as well as SPSS. And framing of hypothesis, the rule is same. And acceptance rejection, it is same. In SPSS, we use only p-values. We use only significance value. That p-value is called significance value to accept or reject an hypothesis. That significance value is usually taken at 0.05 or 0.01. Okay, so only in Excel you have that critical value and p-value. So instead, to avoid confusion, better you stick to this p-value only. And remember, if computed the p-value is, for example, if we take 0.05 as the significance level, it's also called alpha level. And if computed p-value is, let us say 0.03. So computed value is less and significance value is 0.05. So that means we have to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis, and vice versa. Just you remember this. If computed p-value is less and the significance value is more, then reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. Taking this as a base, so you can think the other way around. So the next one is one sample t-test. So this one sample t-test, it helps you test the significance difference between two means. There will be two means for population mean, okay, and the sample mean. For example, if you are studying the literacy rate in the state, okay, and district, then what happens? We can take the literacy rate, average rate at a state level, that is as a population mean, and we can take the literacy rate at a district level. For example, if you are studying 4 district or 5 district, 3 district, so what is the literacy rate at this state? So that becomes your sample mean. For example, if you study 10 district literacy rate, so that becomes the average of these 10 districts will become sample mean. And the state literacy rate will become the population mean. So when you want to know how these 5 districts or 10 districts that you are studying is different from the state level literacy, so we can use this one sample t-test. Okay, even we can use this for application of in case of Likert scale as well. Okay, when we use Likert scale as a measuring scale for our variable, I will explain to you how that looks like. So this is the formula we use. Okay, t is equal to x bar minus mu. X bar means sample mean. Okay, minus mu. So divided by s. This is standard deviation of the sample divided by root n. Okay, so this is how we compute this t value. So SPSS, you don't need all these things, but in case of this one Excel, you need to follow this formula. Okay, there is no inbuilt mechanism for computing this t statistics. After using this only, after computing this t statistic, it is called t statistic, only then you can ascertain the p values, whether it is significant or insignificant. Okay. So what is the, so you just try to understand how the hypotheses are framed, whether it is Excel or SPSS, the hypothesis framing rule is same. Is that clear? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So null hypothesis, there is no difference between sample mean and population mean. Alternative hypothesis, there is a difference between sample mean and population mean. Okay. For example, if you are studying the perception of men, okay, about the students' attitude, perception of teachers about students' attitude. So you can use a Likert scale measure for knowing the attitude. Okay, so then what happens here? We can take 5-point Likert scale. We can take 5-point Likert scale. Okay, then we have to find the sample mean. Okay, I mean the mean of this study, and then we can take an assumed mean. Let us say 3%, 60%. The score should be 60%. So we can take 3, okay, as the assumed mean for comparison. If we don't know the population mean, if population mean is known, so take it. If it is not known, so you can take some assumed mean, but you have to justify it. So this is how the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis are framed. Okay, so yeah, see, this is the test conducted by my friend in his PhD research work. One sample, sorry.
Sir, it's not visible in your PPT.
Yeah, I think PPT is not visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. Yes. Sharing view. Just a minute. Share screen. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes. Yeah, let me explain it. This is one sample t-test. Okay. So this is used when you want to compare population mean with a sample mean. So you should be knowing population mean. Okay. So this is the formula. T is equal to x bar minus mu. It's pronounced as mu. This one is pronounced as mu. Just a minute. Yeah, this is pronounced as mu divided by, this whole thing is called standard error. S divided by root n. S means standard deviation divided by n. N means the number of respondents. So this is the hypothesis. This is how we frame the hypothesis. There is no difference between sample mean and population mean. There is a difference between sample mean and population mean. Yeah. So this is the study done by my friend. Okay. So regarding rainfall risk and its impact, I mean rainfall risk and insurance coverage in case of coffee growers. So here he has used this sample test of one sample test of perception of coffee growers about rainfall risk. What is the perception of coffee growers? Okay. How do they see or how do they think about the rainfall risk? So here there is no population mean is available. He has used 5-point Likert scale. Okay. So in case of 5-point Likert scale, okay, so we can take the mean scores. Okay. And we can assume 3 as the assumed mean or population mean. Okay, for example, if a person has gets a 60%, so that means first class. So like that. So if the perception is above 3, that means the perception is stronger or greater, like that we can interpret. So minimum if should have a 3. Suppose you take 1 and 2, so then what happens? Your test will not give a proper result. So you should have a greater significance level, I can say. Greater significance level. So 3, and this shows 95% confidence interval. 95% means that significance 0.05. So 1 minus 0.05 or 5%, it is nothing but 95%. So 95% confident we are confident that 95% we are right in accepting this hypothesis and rejecting the other hypothesis. This is how you have to interpret. So let me explain once again. So 95% we are confident that when you accept an hypothesis and reject an hypothesis, so it shows to what extent you are confident. So it says 95% we are pakka, we are guaranteed that the rejection of hypothesis is correct and acceptance of the hypothesis also correct. Okay, so that's why this 95% confidence interval. So that is taken as a P as 0.05. That's what I was telling you, 5%. 0.05 means 5%. Suppose you take 1%, this will become 99%. So this is how the result is available. This is giving you 0.00. So don't worry about this two-tiled and all. So the significance level is 0.05. So this is the significance computed p-value is 0.0. Let me explain. Computed p-value is 0.0 and the significance level we have taken is 0.05. So what we should do? We should reject the null hypothesis and we should accept the alternative hypothesis. Okay. So here you can find two types of test: right-tiled test in t-test and left-tiled test. So right-tiled test or left-tiled test. So which test we have to take? Okay, so that you can make out when you compare the mean scores. That's what yesterday Madam was telling. Why can't we do it just with the help of means? Okay, so the mean scores are basis sometimes for framing your hypothesis. Okay, suppose if suppose you are conducting the university level result and college level result. For example, college X, the college X result, the percentage, and university, all colleges put together, what is the percentage? Let us say university level result is 65% and your college is, let us say, 75%. So then what you can do? So you can use either two-tiled test, or as you know that your college percentage is greater than the university percentage, you can take right-tiled. Right-tiled test is taken when sample mean is greater than the population mean. When the sample mean is greater than the population mean. So right-tiled test, H0 is equal to sample mean and population mean are same. Or you can say there is no difference between sample mean and population mean. And H1, okay, sample mean is greater than population mean. So when we can do this, only when we know the mean scores, mean values, okay. So in Excel, you can use this, T distribute RT, okay, then T statistics, degree of freedom for right-tiled T test, okay. So you will get the P value. And in case of a left-tiled test, this is bit complex in Excel, okay. So what happens here? H0 is equal to what we should take? Same. H0 is same in all the cases. No difference between mean value and sample value. Okay, or mean value and sample value are same. In all the two-tiled, left-tiled or right-tiled, H0 is same. Only thing is alternative hypothesis is to be different. So here, when do we take left-tiled test? I was giving you the example of university and college result. Let us say university result is 65% and your college result is, let us say, 60%. 65 university, okay, and 60% our college result. Then obviously we should take left-tiled test, okay. So this is how, with the help of mean scores, we can frame the hypothesis. So left-tiled test is, so when see the alternative hypothesis, when the sample mean is less than the population mean, okay. So here we use this one, t test multiplied, t dist function is available in Excel. X, okay, X means that T statistic that we get. df multiplied by cumulative. So cumulative means you should use type 1 if it is less than x, okay? And when you want to test that, sample mean is less than x or population mean, so then we should use 1, okay? When it is equal, we should type 0. So that is a bit complex in Excel. This one, what is that? This computation of particularly left-tiled test. It's complex, and it's absolutely very easy in case of SPSS. So next is independent t-test for 2 samples. So in this case, if anybody wants to show me how it is computed on the Excel, I will take it up, or we shall take up how these things are done on SPSS. Are you interested in SPSS or Excel or both? Because given 3 hours is not enough to cover all the things.
So better we go to SPSS because it's more complicated in Excel.
Yeah. So okay. So but whether you use SPSS or Excel, the framing of hypothesis is same. This you have to understand. Okay. So independent t-test. So just understand when this test is applied. If you understand this, the other thing is very easy. This when one sample t-test is applied, when independent t-test is applied. So 2 samples means male and female. So for example, rainfall risk. So there are coffee growers, men as well as women. What is the perceptual differences between men and women? So 2 samples means men and women, let us say, married, unmarried, okay, literates, illiterates, urban, rural. So those kind of things we take. Teachers and students, for example, you are studying quality of education, teachers' perception and students' perception. So in that case, we use this independent samples t-test, okay? So here, the null hypothesis. Again, same thing. There is no difference in, again, we are comparing mean values. Here, we don't need any population mean like 1 sample t-test or any assumed mean. Here, it takes the mean value of each group and compares itself and compares both the mean, and we get the result. So alternative hypothesis, there is a difference in the mean values of the groups, okay? So here, just a minute. When we apply this in SPSS, okay, you have to look into one particular important thing here. Just a minute, I will show you. Yeah. Independent sample t-test. Okay. So here, what happens? You will find 2 results. See the result here. You will find 2 results in this case. One is F test. This is called Leven's test for equality of variances. This is t-test. Okay. Before interpreting this t-test, we have to first, okay, interpret this. So this shows, there are 2 rows here. Equal variances assumed and equal variances not assumed. So after, whether we should go for first row or the second row, so we have to decide using these 2 values. Using these 2 values, okay? So let me explain that. See, as I said, you get a mean value here. You can see this mean value 3.30, okay? For example, a technical group, non-technical group, like that. So 3.30, this is the group statistics we get when we apply this. And non-technical, let us say 3.15, like that. So when we get this kind of a thing, so we have to first decide whether we should go for first row or second row. Okay. So just a minute. So here, this is a test called, that first test is called Leven's test. So this Levenson test gives you two types of rows. One is equal variances assumed, and another one is equal variances not assumed. So what happens here, if p-value is greater than significance level 0.05, okay, then take the first row. Okay, let me explain once again. If p-value is greater than the significance level 0.05, then take the first row. Okay, see this. See here, 0.05 we have taken. Okay, 95% means 0.05. Here we have got is 0.078. So that means we have to take the first row. Okay, equal variances assumed. Okay, so if it is 0.002, okay, if significance is level is computed significance value is 0.001 or below 0.005, then we should go for the second line, equal variances not assumed, and then we have to interpret the results. Now you see the results, p value, then compare here significance level. So again 0.05, this is 0.632. So that shows that computed p-value is more and the significance level is less. Significance level is 0.05 and computed p-value is 0.632. So hence, so we must accept the null hypothesis and reject the alternative hypothesis. Okay, so remember here the computed p-value is more and the significance level is less. So when that is the case, what we have to do, we have to reject the alternative hypothesis and we have to accept the null hypothesis. So this is how we get the results. So next one, after this, we have another important test here in SPSS, paired sample t-test. Okay, so this paired sample t-test helps you find out the difference in the means of the same sample, single sample. Okay, for example, if you are conducting a performance of the employees before training and after training, same employees, what was their performance score before training and what is their performance after training? Or you are studying about let us say a method of teaching. Okay, so before introduction of that method of teaching, what was the performance of the students and what is the performance of the students after attending that method of teaching? Okay, so this one, in this case, we perform this paired sample t-test. Okay, so this again, we get a mean scores before training, what is the mean? After training, what is the mean score and standard deviation? And this result is very important. This one helps you, this paired samples correlations, this results will help you whether you can accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. See here, 0.05 is the significance level and computed p-value is 0. So what should be our decision? We have to accept, reject the null hypothesis, accept the alternative hypothesis. Okay, so here computed p-value is 0 and the significance level that we have taken is 0.05. Okay, so how do we frame the hypothesis in this case? Just a minute. Yeah. Yes. So no difference or improvement in performance before and after training. So there is a difference or improvement in performance before and after the training. Okay. So this is how we conduct this paired t-test. Then we have got a multiple regression test. Okay. In case of multiple regression analysis, what we have a dependent variable and independent variable. So there will be one dependent variable and there will be some independent variables. Okay, so in that case, we can perform this, it's called criteria variable. Dependent variable is also called criteria variable. So this multiple regression model, you can also use a simple regression. Suppose there is only one independent variable and one dependent variable. For example, sales and profit. So sales is, let us say, independent variable, profit is dependent variable. For example, if you add more to independent variable, let us say sales, then quality of the product, then advertisement, then the cost of the product. So now independent variables are more. Okay. So then what happens here? You have to apply this multiple regression analysis. So this analysis helps you estimate the relationship between two or more variables. That means how these independent variables impact the dependent variable. So sales and profit. If my sales goes up, what is its impact on my profit? Okay. So you can also take up, the students' result and method of teaching. Okay. So let us say, what do we call? PPT, a method of teaching and students' performance, level of understanding. Okay, so level of understanding is a dependent variable, and using of modern teaching tool is an independent variable. So then you can assess the impact of this modern teaching method on the students' performance. Okay, so this is how this multiple regression is kind of done. And see, this is how null hypothesis is framed. There is no significant influence or relationship between independent variable and dependent variable, or there is no significant influence of independent variable on dependent variable. And alternative hypothesis, there is a significant influence of independent variable on dependent variable. So this is how we frame the hypothesis. For example, this is the hypothesis that I have used in my study. There is no significant influence of self-efficacy and transfer of training. Self-efficacy means the competency of a person. Okay, the level of competency level of a person and its effect on the utilization of the training, the knowledge he gained on the training. So there is no influence of self-efficacy and transfer of training. There is a significant influence of self-efficacy and transfer of training. So you can say there is a influence of, there is no influence, significant influence of sales and advertisement, sales and profit, or advertisement and sales. Okay, so salary and performance. So like that, we can frame the hypothesis. So this is very interesting, and where it helps you make a different analysis. Okay, so one-way analysis of variance. It's called ANOVA, one-way ANOVA. So one-way ANOVA is an extension of two sample tests. So here this one-way ANOVA is used to study, okay, the relationship between a categorical variable, let us say age, okay, or type of employees, or a salary, and the performance. So there will be one dependent variable, and there will be some categorical independent variables. That means, to put it in a nutshell, to put it in a simple words, this is used in case of three groups when you want to make a comparison between three groups or more than three groups. For example, you are studying the quality of education, the teacher's perception, students' perception, parents' perception. Okay, so we have a three groups. Minimum, you should have a three groups, or you can have a more than three groups. Then we use to understand this difference in the perception of three groups. We use this analysis. Okay. For example, in my study, I have taken three types of samples: supervisors, employees, and then workers. So how their perception is different when it comes to application of knowledge gained on the training or gained during the training. So employee say something, supervisors may say something else, and HR heads may say something else. So we can use these kind of a test, okay, one way ANOVA test, to know the significant difference in the mean scores. Once again, it compares mean scores of the groups, and it will help. And using this, you can make a lot of hypotheses. So in the initial stage, you may find it is very difficult to frame hypotheses. So one way analysis of this ANOVA, this independent sample t-test, will help you conduct various, frame various hypotheses, and it makes your research more complex and more meaningful. And of course, you will get a very good report from the evaluators. So, for example, if you have age, okay, 4 groups of age, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and let us say 50 to 60, like that. So here we have got 4 groups, and you want to study their perception, different age group, their perception about, let us say, application of knowledge. Okay, so effectiveness of training. So then what you can do, you can use this ANOVA test, or experience. Let us say 5 to 10 to 20 years experience, 20 to 30 years experience, 30 to 40 years experience. So like that, we can use these kind of so how do we frame this hypothesis? There is no significant difference between the groups. Okay, there is a significant difference between the 3 groups. Like this, we frame the hypothesis. Now come to this. So why I have explained to you the framing of hypothesis, whether in both the cases, the method is same. So now let me take you through this SPSS. So SPSS, okay, is a software. It is called Statistical Package for Social Science. This is specially meant for social science researchers in social science field. Okay, social scientists we can call, or academicians, researchers, whoever it is. So this SPSS is capable of handling large amount of data, and it can perform all of the analysis. Okay, so this is commonly used in social sciences. That's why it is called Statistical Package for Social Sciences. So what is the layout of the SPSS? So if you see this, okay, just a minute, let me, yeah. So you see this menu bar, okay, we have got a different icons. So if you open SPSS, you get to see like this. Okay, so let me show you the SPSS. Yeah. Yes. Can you see this SPSS? This is the software.
Yes, sir.
I don't know to what how visible it is.
It's visible, sir.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
It's visible, sir.
Yeah. So this is here you just a minute. I would have started. I would like to start from opening of SPSS so that you can understand it better. Just a minute. When you open this, it looks like this. Okay, so you will see rows and columns properly. This is called variable view. Sorry,
It's not visible, sir.
it's not visible. Yeah, just a minute. New share, and probably this. Now,
No, sir.
wait. This one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is data view. You will get a screen like this when you open this SPSS. Okay. So this is variable view. This is data view. So data view, here also you get all that grid lines, but in this, okay, it's not visible. Otherwise, it looks like this only. Okay. So here you have to start entering your variables. Okay. So here we have got a file, edit, view, data, transform, analyze. Okay. So in this case, what we have to do is that we have to take your questionnaire. Okay, so that's why when you prepare your questionnaire and when you go to the field for survey purpose, of course nowadays Google form, I think madam is helping you prepare Google forms. Using your Google forms, it has become more impersonal nowadays. Okay, I had to go to all the industrial units starting from Mysore to Nanjangud and also Tamil Nadu border, taking printed questionnaires to the employees, workers. So nowadays, this Google form is a blessing in disguise. You can send it online, and you can get the feedback very easily. Okay. So anyhow, when you prepare this questionnaire, so when you go to the field with the questionnaire, so you may, as Madam was telling that there was some problem regarding the classification of the variables. Okay. So in that case, when you find these, that's called pre-testing of the questionnaire. So do it when you consult 30 to 40 respondents or 50 respondents, you will come to know. That is also part of the research work. So this was the pre-testing done, and this was these were all the some changes incorporated in the questionnaire. So all those things you should mention in your research. Otherwise, what happens? You cannot have a pakka questionnaire so that it fits your study. It's not possible. You will have to modify your questionnaire based on the responses that you get when you go to the field, when you consult the respondents. Okay. So here, what happens? This is the variable view. Here we record all the variables. Let me show you my questionnaire. Okay. So using that questionnaire, you will come to know how this questionnaire can be, the data can be entered in this variable view. Variable view, we have to select all the variables. We have to record variables first, and then we can enter the data. Just a minute. Yeah. So my questionnaire is here. I think again, once I have to share it. Yes. Can you see the questionnaire, madam? Sandhya, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is my questionnaire. This is 3 questionnaires I have prepared. One is for workers, one is for supervisors, and another one is for HR heads. This one is HR head. Okay. So here, name of the organization, type of the organization. Okay. What you do is that you give a number to the questionnaire. Question number 1, so that when you enter the data, so the first one should be first response, the second one should be second response, like that you number the questionnaires. So that will be very easy. So this is sector, public sector, for example, type of the organization. Is it proprietorship, partnership, private limited, public limited, state government, central government? So all those things. If you want, you can record the names. Otherwise, it's not necessary. Okay. So this is first part of the questionnaire, number of training programs conducted. First part means this is HR questionnaire. Participants of workers. Okay. Yeah, participation of workers in training. Is it compulsory or optional? Okay. What are the criteria for the selection of workers for the training program? Okay. So do you have your own training and development center? And then we have got driving forces of training and development. So just the ticket. So are the trainers from within the organization or outside? So like that. And this is the kind of Likert scale questionnaire. So this is the variable which uses the 5-point Likert scale to study the perception of the HR heads. Okay. So training need analysis. So statements, 5-point Likert scale, strongly agree. 5 means strongly agree, and 1 means strongly disagree. Okay. So last, we should include suggestions, comments on the questionnaire. So this is meant for workers. Okay. Now I will show you how to enter this. Okay. Okay. So this is the first one is what we have here. Yeah, name if you want, you can use it. Otherwise, just write 1, 2, 3. If you mark 1, then it's not a problem. Okay. So I mean, just taking one questionnaire, we can record all the variables. Okay. Only when we enter data, that numbering and other things are required. So while recording the variables, so see this, we can start from gender. Okay. So go to this SPSS. So variable view, gender, and here type. Sorry.
Your SPSS screen is invisible, sir.
Oh yeah, again I have to change it. SPSS. Okay, so gender. Here you get a box like this: numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, day, dollar. Okay, like that. Only these two things are important for us. Okay, numeric and string. If it is just a verbal kind of a thing, so you can use a string like male, female, okay, married, unmarried. So like that, you can use a string. For example, address. If you want to note down the address of the your respondent. So otherwise, everything should be taken as okay, as we use gender, marital status. Okay, suppose you want to use it as a basis for hypothesis testing, then we should use numeric only. Okay, so string is used only when we don't consider it for hypothesis testing, and other things are not required. Okay, so date and other things. So here numeric, and it gives you width. Yeah, so select numeric and then label. If you want, you can say gender of the respondents. Gender of respondents. If you want, you can note down it. Otherwise, if you know it, you don't need to give this label. It's of no use. And here, this is very important. This is the beauty of SPSS. Okay. So male, gender, okay, male 1, okay, add. Suppose if you make female as 1, that is also okay. And then 2, female, okay, female, add. Okay. Suppose if you want, sorry. Suppose you want to add transgender as 3, then you can add transgender, okay, or other gender. Sorry. 3 transgender. Here only number is allowed. That's why transgender. And you can make as many classifications. This is the very useful, facility that is available in this SPSS, which makes things very easy, damn easy. So this is how the male is done, gender. Again, it depends the classification made by you in your study. So next one is, next up, I think I should have sent you the questionnaire. Yeah. Next is marital status. Yeah, come to this marital status. So you should not give any gap here. If you give gap, it won't take. Suppose you give gap like this, okay, it won't take. There should not be any gap. You should not use any special signs here. Okay, so numbers also it won't take. Marital status. Okay, so if you want, you can give marital status of employees. Marital, I think it's not that important. Status of employees, like that you can give. So again, here also you can give values. 1, married, add. Second one, unmarried. Okay. And suppose a divorcee, you can give 3 divorcee, like that. Okay. Again, it depends on your requirement. So next one is, just a minute. Oh, age. Yes. So age. You have to be very careful while recording the age. Just a minute. So age. So type age. And here, all numeric only. Okay. Age of the respondents. respondents. Okay, and here you have to decide how many classifications you want to make. One, let us say 21 to 30. Okay, 30. This you should be very careful. Why you have taken 21 to 30? Okay, 30. First group you can take 20 to 30. It makes no difference. But when it comes to the second group, you should always take 31, so that the 31 should comes here. 31 to 40. 40. Add. Then 3, 41 to 50. Don't take 40 to 50 here. 41 to 50. Add. 4, let us say 50 and above. 50 and above. Add. Okay. Okay. Then the next one is salary. So when it comes to salary, most of the people in India, they don't like to disclose their salary, fearing that they may get notice from the income tax authorities. Especially when you visit factories for research purpose, they think that you are from sales tax department or income tax department. They don't entertain you. That's a big headache, especially conducting research with in industries. So salary per month, okay, you can take per month or annual, whatever you want. Yeah. Again, here also you should be very careful. So salary, okay, then numeric, then measure, you can use scale, okay, nominal, for example, male, female, you can use, if you don't know, if you can't make it out, don't do anything, leave it as unknown. If you know, for example, male, female, nominal variables, nominal measure, okay, marital status, nominal, married or unmarried, age, so this is a number, you can take it as a scale, okay, 25 to 30, 35 to 40, like that. So this one also you can take it as a scale. So salary, yeah, let me make the group. Again, here also you have to decide. 1, 10,000 to, that depends upon your requirements. And there is no strict rule as far as this classification. It is all left to you only. I may make some other classification, you may make some other classification. 10,000 to 20,000. Okay, add. Then second one, 21,000 to 30,000. Okay, you can take 40,000 also. That's not an issue. So 3, okay, so 31,000 to 1,000 to 40,000. Okay, so add. Okay. Okay, so this is how it is done. So when you have variables like this, age, education, salary, okay, again, education, see this, you have to give a number. I will show you. In the same way, you can do it for rest. For example, in case of a designation, if there are different designations, so what you should do is that you should go to same procedure as we did it in case of age, salary. So designation, okay, so again numeric, then you have to make a classification. Okay, is a supervisor 1, supervisor, okay, supervisor, add, okay, executive 2, executive 2, okay, 3, sales officer, again depends, okay, just I'm taking you some examples. So like that you can make a classification. And when it comes to education, because we all use this in our studies, so let me show you this education. Again, it also depends upon your sample that you have selected. Based on that, you can make a this thing. So salary, sorry, what is that? Education. Okay. So 1 SSLC, suppose you are starting from SSLC, add 2 PUC, okay, PUC, add 3, okay, degree, add 4, okay, let us say postgraduate, okay, 5 diploma, and you should remember this classification. You should make a note of this, or every time you will have to come and open and see what you have given. So diploma, you should remember these numbers. Only then you can make a data entry, add. Okay, so like that. Okay. So this is how these kind of variables are entered. Suppose if it is a 5-point Likert scale, how do we enter this? I will show you. Education, all those things we can do. Okay. So yes or no, attended the training program, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Like that you can do it. When it comes to Likert scale, let me explain to you. For example, here I have got a self-efficacy. This explains that these are all various variables. Training quality is one variable, okay, and this one self-efficacy is another variable that I have selected for study. Pre-training motivation. There are more than 25 variables in training, okay, which is researched in many international Western universities. So after doing my literature review, I mean, reading the international journal articles, that I got these kind of variables. When I registered for my PhD, I was not knowing these variables at the time of pre-registration colloquium. Opportunities for skill utilization. And one more thing, what all the hypotheses that I had proposed at the time of pre-registration, I discarded all those hypothesis, and for my final study I had an entirely new hypothesis. Why it happens? Because our lack of literature review. Okay, that's why this pre-registration colloquium is a concept borrowed from IIMs. So IIM institutes, they give earlier in universities, okay, within no time you could have completed registration before 2009 somewhere, or 5 or 4 somewhere. So in IIM, the student, the research scholar had to do literature review for 1 year, and then he has to present his proposal, research proposal. But earlier when I started, it was not like that. So within no time, I used to go with some topic, some synopsis, and okay, so it was impersonal verification, and depending upon the relationship with the guide, it could have been accepted or it could have been rejected. Okay, so now this literature review is very must, so that you can know what are the variables that you can use. This is one variable. This is supervisor support, another variable, and this is training effectiveness. So training effectiveness is not measured in terms of output. Okay, quantitative things are not used here. Once again, perceptual study, that is 5-point Likert scale. Utility reactions, learning reactions, then perceived behavioral change, how he perceives that training has changed his behavior. Then what are the organizational results, that is divided into commitment, okay, and productivity of workers. So this is how that I have developed a model. I will show you how it looks like a model at a later point of time. So now if you have a variable like this, then how do you enter this? Okay, let me show you. So here I have got a self-efficacy, use SELF. Here we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You have to enter all these statements here as, let me show you. So self A, okay, then so numeric, same thing, self B, okay, self C. Since in case of Likert scale, we can compute mean. So that's why you can apply t-test, you can apply regression, you can apply correlation. So self-efficacy C, and then self D, okay, and then self E, then self G, and then self H. This is the last statement. And lastly, this kind of a statement, using these statements, you cannot values, you cannot do the hypothesis testing. Lastly, just a minute, self H. Okay, so these many statements I have in my this scale. This is a pre self-efficacy measurement scale. Okay. So these scales, they are available. Okay, standard scales, they are used across the globe. So you can use the same scales and do the study. So these things you get only when you read the articles published by Western universities in standard journals. I don't say that it's not available in India. It's available, but you have to refer standard journals, especially Emerald. You get a Emerald website, you get a very standard journals and very good articles. And after that, EBSCO-host. And most of our affiliated colleges cannot afford EBSCO-host and all those things. We do not have that facility. In Mysore, it is available in SDM Mysore. I have taken a life membership, so I can access the journals that are available and do the research. So this is self-H. And lastly, you have to take self-mean. So this is what we are going to use for our hypothesis testing. Okay. So like this, you can do for all this, okay, whatever variables we have. Let me show you. Which one you are seeing? SPSS or this one?
It's scale only we are looking into, sir, now. Word document.
Now you can see this Word file. Word file.
Yeah, Word file only we are looking into, sir.
Earlier, did I not show you SPSS?
Yes, sir. It's going on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, time is now is 11. Do you want to take a break, sir, or?
Yeah. Let us take 5 minutes, 10 minutes break now. Okay, just 2 minutes. Let me complete this.
Okay.
See, this is how we can do. I think I don't need you to explain how to enter all these things. I think now you got an idea how to enter the variables. Still, I have not come to data view.
ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೋದೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವುದು?
ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ.
Yeah. I will show you. So ಈ ತರ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ you can do like this. Okay na? Next. Then go to data view. So data view ಗೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದಾದ್ರೆ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಡೆಸಿಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ SSLC ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನೇನ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ 3 ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರಲ್ಲ, SSLC ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ನೀವೇನ್ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಮ್ಮಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಓಕೆ 1. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್, ಇವನೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಂದುವಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ನಂಬರ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ 1 ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಇವನ್ನ ರೋ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಇವನ್ ಮ್ಯಾರಿಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ 2.
Sir, SPSS ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Oh yeah, you are not seeing. Yeah. Sorry. I have to switch frequently from this and that. That's the problem. Now, yes.
ಈಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Yeah. Can you see this? Gender 1. ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್, ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನರ್ಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ರೋ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ, ಅವ್ನ್ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಸೊ ಜೆಂಡರ್ 1, ಮ್ಯಾರಿಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ 2, ಏಜು ಸಪೋಸ್ ಅವನು ನೀವೇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ 20 to 30, 30 to 40 ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 35 ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು. 35 ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಅಂತ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ 10,000 to 20,000 to 20,000 to 30, 30 to 40 ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 35 ಬರ್ದಿದ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ 3. Okay, so designation I took some ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್, ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಅವನು ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವೇನ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 3 ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ SSLC 1, PUC 2, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ 3, and then post graduate 4. Suppose post graduate ಅಂತ MA ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದ, then you have to take 4. ಈಗ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಫಿಕಸಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನು ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಶೋ ಯು ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನರ್. ಯಾ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ವಶನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಫಿಕಸಿ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಮಿನಿಟ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ 4ಕ್ಕೆ ಟಿಕ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಐ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಅಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ, ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅವನು ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಅಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಜೀರ್ಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅವನು 5 ಆಗ್ತಾನೋ ಇಲ್ಲ 2 ಆಗ್ತಾನೋ, ಏನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 5. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅವನು 3 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅವನು ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ 2 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ 5 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಅವ್ನು ಏನು ನಂಬರ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅದ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ಅವನು 5 ಹಾಕಿದ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕು ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಇದಾಕಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್, ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ, ಇಯರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ 4 ಇಯರ್. ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಐ ಗೋ ಟು SPSS. ಇಲ್ಲಿ SPSS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಎಸ್, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ 4, 3. ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಇದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ 5
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್
ಯಾ ವೇಟ್. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ ಮೊದಲನೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ 4, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 3, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 5, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 4, next to let us say 5, next to let us say 3, okay, next to let us say 5. Here you have to compute the mean. Okay, so ಈ ಮೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇದಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಮೊದಲು ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇದ್ರ ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, 4 + 3 7, 12 + 4 16, 21, 24, 29 divided by number of statements. That is 2, 4, 6, 7 statements. 29 divided by 7 ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 4.10 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಈ ತರ 4.10. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. So here using this box you can compute the variable. Okay, mean ಅನ್ನ ಈಗ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಈಗ ಒಂದು 500 ಜನ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 500 ಜನದ್ದು ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. 500 ಜನದ್ದು ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಈಗ ಇದು ಮುಗಿತಲ್ವಾ, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೀನ್ ಖಾಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ನಿಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಹೋಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಒನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್, you get the mean value for all the respondents. Okay, that I will show you after the break, 10 minutes break. Is that okay?
Fine, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you.